Hi Virgo, and welcome to your energy check-in, where I'm going to be using tarot and astrology to dive into the energy and see how June is looking for you. This isn't going to resonate with every single Virgoan out there, and if it doesn't, please go and check your other placements for messages there, and as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. The only way to book a personal reading with me is through Instagram. My Instagram is _witchcrafter with a wee blue tick. It is verified. And please disregard anyone in your inbox pretending to be me, because I can promise you they are full of nonsense. Now, Virgo, your chart ruler is in beside some big energies at the moment, right? Mercury is currently in Taurus, next to the Sun, Jupiter, Uranus, and I'm definitely feeling this feeling of being shrunk down and feeling a little bit small. During this time, you might feel a little bit inept, like a little bit, feeling as though the road ahead is quite insurmountable and there's so much things to get past. There's so many energetic knots to get through, and you, with your wee voice and your wee heart, is feeling a little bit, troubled by the amount that we've got to get through moving forward. But when the Sun moves out of Taurus and into Gemini, that's going to be in about 10 days time. There's definitely going to be this feeling of relief, because the Sun really does burn anything else that it's in beside. And at the moment, I mean, the moon is in there today, but the moon's only in a sign for 2.5 days. But there are 6 planets in Taurus at the moment, all being scolded by the heat of the Sun. But this will pass. And it's really interesting, Virgo, right? I'm being called to take one more. So we have got the 2 of Wands, but that's in the reverse, and the 10 of Wands. Now, wands are all to do with creative energy, so it could be something that you feel really passionate about, that you've got this big decision to make. There might be passion projects of yours. There might be things that you have really, associated with your identity and your personality over the last couple of years that are kind of starting to ebb away. And it's quite difficult for you to turn your back on this thing, but the weight of it is becoming heavier and heavier. So there needs to be this dissociation process. And through doing that, there's going to be a lot that you are learning, whether you're learning about yourself, your own mental processes, or simply what other people can offer you. Like, what do the resources of the people in the periphery of your life, what can they help you with? Because an end is never really an end, is it? Everything is transient. If you look around at the nature of the world, things are constantly popping in and out of existence. And there's not this catastrophe when things end. It just bleeds into what is new, the next chapter. And the beautiful thing is here with the Judgment in the reverse, it's like you are so welcome to take all of the amazing experiences about this passion, about this perhaps relationship, friendship, whatever it is you're being called to leave behind. You can take the best bits with you. And it's not as though you need to close it out altogether. Like, there are parts of it that you can keep while opening yourself up to the new. You might be fooling yourself into thinking that you have yet to make a decision on these things. But you know as well as I do, Virgo, that the decision has already been made. We are not willfully blindfolding ourselves to the stark reality of things anymore. We are accepting things for how they are and allowing our life to unfurl appropriately. And with the Magician, we must never ever underestimate our own personal power. Our thoughts manifest our reality, Virgo, and if we are constantly thinking, like, I can't do that, I'm hearing laughing in my head because I'm Virgo moon, and this is very resonant of the energies that I've been dealing with over the last couple of days, but you have so much power, like so much more power than you're giving yourself credit for, Virgo, and by allowing yourself to disrespect your own personal, trajectory, what you know to be true about who you are and where you're going, all you're doing is creating unnecessary resistance. So allow everything to unfold as it's meant to. But let's see how the end of June is looking for my Virgoans. Remember, you guys have got the south node of the moon, K2, in your sign for another 8 months or so. And there's always a reductionary process because K2 removes things. It strips away erroneous layers, things that we don't need anymore. So allow that to happen and, you know, be grateful for the spiritual experience it's incurring. This is interesting because this is you, Virgo, right? Overall analysing, catastrophizing, being up in your head, not really knowing where to go. But the beautiful thing about Virgo is that every time it escapes into darkness, it turns on a light. And with the Hanged Man and the King of Swords, this perceived, you know, stagnation, this feeling of being stuck, or this feeling of all of that in the future is too big and too scary, like I don't want to move towards it. There is a necessary pause that's happening here. There's almost like a rhyme and a reason to the universe's madness as to why you're feeling a certain sense of trepidation. And with the 8 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, this really is recognizing that the thought prison inside your own head is so much scarier and so much more suffocating than the reality of you having to leave things behind. You know, like, let's not induce any extra trauma by being in, you know, catastrophic situations inside our own heads that we really don't need to be in. So how beautiful is this, right? And the one underneath literally says, lighten your load. And this is that card. The 10 of Wands is the heaviest card in the entire tarot deck. So it's like, set it all down. You know, like, if you are feeling like everything in the future is really scary and huge, you don't want to be moving towards that with a backpack full of bricks on your back, do you? No, of course not. So what do we need to be doing in the month of June? We need to be finding and re-establishing, I'm hearing, the confidence in not only ourselves, but our respective spiritual paths, Virgo. So, every time I do a Virgo or a Gemini reading, I feel like I'm rambling. It's just the nature of Mercury, right? But I really hope you enjoyed your reading, and I will be back in a couple of weeks with another energy check-in. But until then, thank you so much for listening. I've been the Witchcrafter.